What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're for a new Madden 23 rebuild with the final big piece of free agency falling yesterday when we saw DeAndre Hopkins decide that at this point in time in his career, at 31 years old, controlling his destiny for the most part, obviously maybe the market wasn't ideal, he decided, I want to go play on a run-first offense with Ryan Tannehill here in Tennessee. And that's just from an outsider perspective. I think we're looking at this from a Titans fan perspective. Hell yeah, you literally just got easily the biggest needle mover for the Titans offense going into the upcoming season. So what we did is we put DeAndre Hopkins here on the Tennessee Titans. We simmed through the first season, last year, to get us to IRL, the starting point right now. We have Skoronski. We got Tajay Spears on the offensive side of the football as well from that very nice rookie class. And Will Levis at quarterback. But we're going to try to, I guess, do we keep it realistic? Can we go, you know what I'm going to do? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go probably with how I think the Titans will go. We'll give Tannehill the first 8 games. So we will purposely almost stunt Will Levis's development by 8 games. If Tannehill actually looks nice and decent, he'll keep the job. If not, we're going to treat Ryan Tannehill exactly like probably what he is right now, and that is a stopgap quarterback, a bridge quarterback to Will Levis. So we're going to wait and see. I mean, outside the offense, yeah, you got Treylon Burks, who you're hoping can take another step. Derrick Henry still Derrick Henry. You got Andre Dillard coming up from the Philadelphia Eagles at left tackle. Hopefully that works out well for you. I think Okonkwo is a really underrated tight end. He's a guy that I'm personally going to be targeting in fantasy football this season. Defensively, Jeff Simmons is an absolute beast, just got paid, and I was personally happy to give him that contract. Absolute stud. We have Arden Key coming over from the Jags in terms of a pass rusher. Al Shire jumping over from the 49ers. Very talented linebacking core to help the middle of this unit here. You got Byard and Hooker, who are really, really nice. One of the better safety tandems in the NFL. You got Murphy Bunting jumping over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, going along with Fulton, Caleb Farley, and Roger McCray. Lots of depth in the secondary here for the Titans. Honestly, enough depth that we might, if the right trade presents itself, I think there's one of these corners could probably be deemed surplus, and they're all on the right side of 25. Could probably start on other teams, but there's also a certain level of well, where do I go? I kind of want Monty Rice to develop. I thought he was really nice coming out of college. We're probably not going to get an upgrade over Arden Key at pass rusher for one of these corners. And it's well, what do we got on the offense? Could we grab a center for one of these guys? Or do we try to develop NPF, Brewer, Reduns here on the interior? So I don't really know what we're going to do here quite yet. I think the biggest thing is to get to the midway point of year 1, see where Ryan Tannehill is at, and make the decision whether or not we hand the reins over to the rookie out of Kentucky, the Mayo lover himself, Will Levis, or is Ryan Tannehill going to pull an Aaron Rodgers? Probably not. And say, this is my team. To shout out DraftKings for sponsoring today's video. And if you want to get in on the fantasy action, but you are sick of roster management, no waiver claims, no benching your best players, well, this year, Best Ball on DraftKings is bigger than ever. Just draft your team once in a snake draft at the beginning of the season. Each week, you'll automatically rack up points from your top scorers on your team. No roster management to worry about. Start playing Best Ball. Download the DraftKings app. Sign up using promo code C4DFS. Enter DraftKings Best Ball $10 million millionaire contest and draft your team for the season. Each week, you'll automatically rack up points from all your top scores. No ads, drops, trades. I should have played him. No worrying about the waiver wire. You'll be able to enjoy the fantasy football action without the need to manage your team. The team with the most points at the end of the season will take home the $1 million top prize. This is DraftKings' largest best ball contest ever. So what are you waiting for? Head to the DraftKings app and sign up with promo code C4DFS and start playing best ball today. Only on DraftKings with promo code C4DFS. Midway point of year 1, and we are 3-5. Only one win from the basement of the AFC South. We currently have the 30th ranked passing offense. We do have the number 2 ranked rushing offense, top 5 defense, number 2 passing defense. And while I know and understand as we rebuild the Titans here that we're probably never going to have a good playbook in terms of passing yards, one thing also I want to see, because this is the point that we're going to decide what we're going to do at quarterback. And is Ryan Tannehill's contract up? It is. So even more clear to me that things for the future need to happen now. So we're going to move Will Levis into the starting quarterback spot. Leave Tannehill there as a backup. Really wish he had mentor on one of his player tags there. He absolutely doesn't, because wasn't there like a viral moment when they got Malik Willis? He's like, nah, I'm not helping him at all. Kind of. That's how they phrased it. I mean, he's not playing brutal, but he's also not really playing amazing. The yards are suspect. The completion percentage are suspect. The only thing good is the touchdown to interception ratio. But when you can run the football like how we run the football, you know, you're not going to be putting the ball in harm's way a whole lot. And Derrick Henry's absolutely crushing it right now. DeAndre Hopkins is crushing it right now. Treylon Burks doing all right. I mean, hey, we want DeAndre Hopkins is the reason why we're doing this rebuild. So as long as he's playing like a monster, I'm going to be pretty happy. We're getting decent pressure. Murphy Bunting breaking out here a little bit. 4 interceptions. I like seeing that. But we're gonna pull the plug here. I'll tell you what though. I'll be honest. Maybe this is calling my own self out there. If Ryan Tannehill wasn't in a contract year, I'd probably let him continue to start. But the fact that like I'm not going to re-sign him, it's just you're just taking away snaps from who we're gonna go with going forward. So let's take a look at some contracts here. We got first up Tier. We have so much money. I can literally sign whoever I want. So we'll get. He only wants 1 more year, so I'll give him 3 years for sure. We have Azeez Al-Shaair. We'll give him 4 year. I think this is a guy that can be our. What the length again? You want more years? I'll give you 5. We have Christian Fulton, 24 years old, looking for a reason. What? Any not wanting to be here? You have a green meter, full green meter button. This is absurd. What about you, Murphy Bunting? 4 picks and counting. 4 year 32. There we go. Someone actually happy to be here. Appreciate it. Denico Autry, the veteran. If there was interest, I'd throw a contract out. But the fact that I'm going to have to overpay for a guy that's going to regress, not worried. We have King Henry. And while we did get Tajay Sharp, we can't do a Titans rebuild. I can't even do a Titans rebuild and take it seriously if we let Derrick Henry walk. Now, I do wish that there was some interest because we're going to have to overpay. And we overpaid. He still wants more. But I can't let him walk. We'll find a way to make it work. Now, we did have a breakout scenario here for our safety, Amani Hooker, looking to become a superstar dev. We need to have a good week here against one of the best passing offenses in the NFL. We'll just kind of sit by here, and then we'll go to another round of negotiations. Why not? Shit, we win. That's an upset right there. Will Levis's first start goes in and plays pretty well. I'm going to need to go look at that. But first, let's go to the breakout here for Amani Hooker, and he unfortunately he did not get what we were looking for. Let's take a little peek here at what Will Levis did in his first start. Ooh, I mean, not a lot. Both quarterbacks didn't really throw the football well, but I'll take 3 touchdowns. Touchdowning one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you get your 1 interception in your debut. A little brain fart, a little mulligan, whatever you want to call it. I'm happy with that debut because hey, you know what? I bet you with that amount of passing yards, he just did what any rookie quarterback needs to do, especially in Tennessee. Hand the football off. 22 times, $139 for Derrick Henry, 57 and a tutty for Tajay Spears. We got 2 touchdowns for Okonkwo. Maybe we would like to see more to DeAndre Hopkins and Treylon Burks, our wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, but that's going to come with time. Defensively, we did a pretty decent job here. Caleb Farley with interception, Harold Landry with a sack. Caleb Farley, another guy having a chance to like a little bit of revival here, kind of falling on the wayside, had some injuries, stuff like that, as a top pick. He's been very well for us year 1, the year that I kind of just simmed to get to this point. He played well, and he's off to a good start here, and I think he's going to become a fixture of our secondary in this rebuild. Lastly, let's come back to these contracts. So, Tier Tart just wanted years. So, if I give him 3 years at that price point, he'll sign on. He's a solid interior lineman. We have Al-Shaair. He wanted more years. I'll give him 5. He'll take, I guess for these guys turning me down, they just wanted more years. So, at the end of the day, I don't have that big of an issue doing that because most of these contracts are going to be, when I'm done this rebuild, I'm already redone it. But Derrick Henry is the big one. We're going to bump that up. We'll go $6 million. $55 million over 4 years. Come on! Do you want to be here or not? This asshole, congrats. You're playing on the franchise tag next year at 30-some years old. Is this where you want to be in your career, huh? And goddamn. We lose 2 games? 3? Only 2 or 3 games lost with Will Levis under center. And we win the division. That was the pivotal moment. I mean, again, looking at our records, I was never expecting. I think we could probably get that a little bit better than 29th passing offense. But we had a top 5 offense, top 5 defense. Mike Vrabel got these guys going, and maybe Will Levis was the missing piece. Take a look at the stats. We have maybe a little bit more on the interception front with Will Levis there. But, whoa, Malik Willis. Did I make him a starter by mistake one game? Either way, hellacious numbers across the board. And I think I have no qualms about it. But bad thing is that because we didn't start Will Levis, he's on the normal dev. So he's not going to be playing himself into Offensive Rookie of the Year type place. And, you know, that sucks because we got to get him on that normal dev. That's going to be our plan. Biggest thing right now for the offense outside of, you know, hopefully figuring a long-term contract extension with Derrick Henry is getting Will Levis off that dev. And I don't think we would have accomplished this. But my God, Malik Willis, 10 of 12, 2. We don't need to trade him. That might be good enough for like some team window shop for a quarterback. Head of the draft, maybe we can flip Malik Willis for something. Running the ball, 1,800 yards, 11 touchdowns for Derrick Henry, 4-9 for Tajay Spears. So a really good 1-2 punch at the running back spot. 1,100 yards, 8 tutties for Treylon Burks, 1,010 for DeAndre Hopkins, almost 700 yards, 6 tutties for Phillips, 669 and 10 for Okonkwo. Really happy with all those numbers. Defensively, Azeez Al-Shire, 120 tackles, 6 TFLs, 3 sacks, 2 picks. We got 17 sacks on 12 TFLs for Jeff Simmons, 11 sacks Harold Landry. Really good numbers there. 6 picks, Sean Murphy-Bunting, 3 from Caleb Farley. Really, really good defense. I didn't even remember this. I struggle finding good 3-4 defenses, and this Titans defense, incredible. Looking at the MVPs, well, congrats, Jalen Hurts. Looking for some Titans here. Derrick Henry, 4th in Offensive Player of the Year voting. Jeff Simmons, 5th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Offensive Rookie goes to Bryce Young, with Will Levis coming in at 6, only starting half the season. Tajay Spears at 7, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't even think we had anybody. But I feel pretty good about Will Levis going forward, especially if we could shave off a couple of those interceptions. I think we're looking pretty good. Jeff Simmons, runner-up for D Lineman of the Year, and he's on that superstar. I think he probably should be an X Factor. Hopefully he can get it with the season that he had, which I'm confident he will, but you never know. Sean Murphy-Bunting, surprisingly, wins Defensive Back of the Year. So I'm glad that we paid him a new contract because he only came on like a 1-year flyer, I think, to the Titans, formerly of the Bucks. And he balled out here. So that might be a superstar dev for him, which would be gigantic for this secondary. And much like Malik Willis could be on the trade block, especially around draft time, we might be able to shift off one of those corners too and get some nice value. So we did make the playoffs. We have there's the Mike Vrabel game. Mike Vrabel, Bill Belichick. I already know Bill Belichick probably licking his lips knowing that he gets to play a rookie quarterback. Has some hellacious game plan to try to stop him. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happens as we fall 35-28. But hey, you know what? I still think ahead of schedule. We know where we're going with the quarterback spot. Let's go into year 2. Full year starter for Will Levis and get him off that normal dev. And also, we're going to franchise tag Derrick Henry in a couple weeks here. Probably piss him off. Maybe that makes him play better. Maybe he's going to be frustrated and he'll go for 2,000 yards next season. But a shocking Super Bowl, especially for, you know, the time frame that we're in. The Broncos defeat the Panthers. Interesting, but more so looking at our team closing out this season, clearing out our lockers, dev traits. On the offensive side, well, we lost the dev trade on Tannehill, but, you know, that was kind of be expected. Tajay Spears was hidden dev, he's star. Skoronski was hidden dev, he's star. No dev for Okonkwo. I thought he might have had a shot at it, but we did get a star dev for Treylon Burks, which is in the right direction here, and then we just need Will Levis to, you know, do his part next season. On the defense, we have a new superstar dev for Murphy-Bunting coming off a 6-interception season. That is pretty dope. No other dev traits up or down, but I think one of these corners is going to get traded, depending on what kind of pick we can get in return. Oh, look at this, and now he's interested. I can't even offer you a contract if I wanted to, so we are going to be franchising Derrick Henry on a 1-year, $16 million deal. He ain't going nowhere. But hopefully that green bar carries over to next year because I have no problem keeping here for the remaining 4 years of this rebuild. It doesn't matter, he was gone anyways, but Ryan Tannehill has decided to retire after 12 seasons. So in free agency, we're gonna take a swinger. D-end and edge, 3-4 D-end and edge are our big needs, and edge rushers are just a pain to try to draft. I will tell you right now, Rashawn Gary's there, but he's always there. So I wanted to do something a little different. We had big interest from Danielle Hunter, and you know, he's up there in age a little bit, but I think that could be just something different, and he should be solid. I don't think he's gonna regress too bad. And then we threw in a decent offer on Christian Wilkins, both like kind of veterans, but again, we're on a rookie quarterback contract now. No more Ryan Tannehill expensiveness, so we're gonna be able to spend a little bit more. So it'll be nice to land both of these guys. Do have a lot more confidence in Danielle Hunter, which we do land. So it's gonna be him and Harold Landry coming out the edge, which is nice. But now we're gonna go towards the draft, probably needing a 3-4 defensive end as our big need. Secondary need could be, you know, if a BPA is a wide receiver, maybe get a wide receiver with a little bit more upside, because, you know, hey, DeAndre Hopkins is getting out there in age a little bit. Who knows where he's going to be at year 4, year 5 of this rebuild. Those would be my needs. Offensive line, pretty much anywhere across the O-line with dev traits, because all of our linemen are normal dev for the most part, outside of Skoronski, and I just don't go up dev traits. So lineman, wide receiver, biggest need, though, will be getting someone on that front three. So take a look at the draft class. Now, I said wide receiver if there was a BPA wide receiver. Top 2 guys on my board right now are wide receivers, and look at this one. Emmanuel Terry, he's a deep threat archetype at 6'3", 223. 4.25! It's DK Metcalf. There's DK Metcalf right there. And even this guy, that's making me overlook this guy. Cameron McMillan, 3 A's and a C, 6'3". Runs, you know, not as good, different style of playmaker. I kind of want this guy. I don't know what it's going to cost. I want to see the mock draft. He's probably going early. Not early enough, man. He's going right now. What? He's going at 9. We currently pick probably 20th, 22nd. So, I mean, and I'm saying this right now. We're a run the ball team. We probably don't, like, he's just not gonna, I just need that guy. So we're gonna need to find a way to get the 8th pick. Can I get it with pick 22 and like Malik Willis? Who do we got here? It's the Jets. I mean, in this scenario, the Jets don't have Aaron Rodgers. I'll see what we can do. I think this is probably our best offer that I can make right now. 1st round pick, Malik Willis and Christian Fulton. It's close. I had to do it. I hate to do it, but we have so much depth at corner. If we're gonna get a little greedier, I'll give them a corner coming off 6 picks. Sean Murphy-Bunting, superstar corner, 27 years old, Malik Willis, because I think that wide receiver is gonna be ridiculous. That guy is gonna be him, DeAndre Hopkins, with Treylon Burks in the slot, dude. Like, I'm just wondering from a standpoint, first of all, if he goes before our pick somehow, then I can smash something. But, like, if we can get the sim numbers with Derrick Henry that we know that the Titans can get, right? If we can get that, and then we just have so much talent at wide receiver that we're also going to get passing numbers, we might have an unstoppable offense. And I think, look, he's there. He follows the mock draft. Pick 8. I give up a superstar corner. You need to be, sir, like at least an 80 superstar dev, please. I get the dev trait's the big thing. If you told me Murphy-Bunting, he was on a 1-year flyer, different role, different rebuild, he might not hit that. But if I just gave up a superstar, I better be at least gaining a superstar. Emmanuel Terry, 6'3". We'll round it up to 225. All right, that guy's a heavyweight in the UFC. 96 acceleration, 98 speed, 99 jumping. We're pairing that with D-Hop and Treylon Burks and Will Levis and Derrick Henry. Good luck. Absolutely nothing on the defensive line that I need, but what we do have is, I don't even know if I can draft this guy. He looks sick. But I mean, if we stick with the corners that we got, he might just be BPA though. We just okay. There's also a lineman that looks draftable. We got here, Toby McKee. Does have the C in pass block, but A impact, B run, B awareness is pretty nice, and he's a good athlete. We'll go with the lineman that likely has a dev, which he does, and we'll pass on the 6'4 corner. All right, drum roll, please. The wide receiver that we traded an 84 superstar and Malik Willis for. I mean, Malik Willis surplus at this point. He is 82. I'll take that 82. I mean, given the traits as well, man. Even if he was like a 79, giving me a guy with this build, this traits, I think we can make it work. He also has 91 spec catch, 85 catching, 85 catching traffic. I do want to see what that other wide receiver was, though, because he was pretty close. McKee, 72 hidden dev. I got a 73 guard here in the 3rd round. No dev trait, though, so I didn't really show him up. But that's still pretty solid depth. Got a 73 corner in the 3rd round. No dev, so I didn't flex or anything. I didn't think he was actually that great. But solid depth as well. You know, we lost corner, gained a corner. Got a 74 fullback. He just had A pass blocking, A run blocking. I feel like Titans offense should have a fullback. Pretty low rating on the kicker. Usually I can hit kickers better than that. But let's go look at the top end of this draft and see just how it broke out. Whoa, an 83 safety. God damn, Jags. Okay. But the other wide receiver there, McMillan, is an 80. These guys probably always be connected. Very similar. What's the dev trait? Just to get an idea of the area code of where we need to be shooting for our players. And realize only a star dev. Okay, well, what about the safety? If we're talking about the players in this draft class that were over an 80, is this safety a star? Is this a class that's just big ratings, bad devs? Well, no, he's an X Factor. Was there any other ones? So we get an X Factor, and that's it. Okay. All right. Is this the corner I passed on? Are you kidding me? This is the corner that we had that I could have drafted. Please just be star. If it's star, it's no harm, no foul, because the lineman's going to play for us sooner than later. It's only a star, but at least we had the right process. That 6'4" corner also would have been a ridiculous signing, but happy with what we got. Now the pressure is just going to be on. Will having all these passing weapons give us a passing offense on top of our S-tier rushing offense, or they just are both these guys, him and D-Hop? There's going to be too many mouths to feed, and we might need to look at, I don't want to say changing playbooks, but this pick's only going to work out if we develop a passing offense on top of a rushing offense. If we just still run the ball only and don't get any passing numbers through the sim, probably not worth the trade. Even as ridiculous as Emmanuel Terry is. Let's go! Here's our squad looks like going into year 2. Biggest thing on the offense is, actually, we're going to put McKee there as a starter, just sorry for duns. Will Levis needs that dev trait. And hopefully, having Hopkins, a freak of nature in Terry, and Treylon Burks is going to help Will Levis put up a strong season to gain said dev trait. We got Derrick Henry on a 1 year. He's playing on the tag. Want to get a long-term extension done there as well. Defensively, well, we couldn't fill all of our holes. Pause. As we missed on Christian Wilkins free agency, so we kind of have a spot there. I mean, we could just throw Arden Key there and say, screw it, just let this. They're not going to play anyways, because primarily we're going to have Tart, Simmons, Landry, and Hunter. And if we're running subsets, which we do a lot, it's going to be Simmons at D tackle, Simmons and Tart as our 2 D tackles, with Landry and Hunter as our pass rushers, which I feel pretty good about. But a big change in the secondary, as we have no more Murphy Bunting superstar. That was to get the wide receiver. So now it's going to be on Fulton, Caleb Farley, and Roger McCreary, which I trust the scheme. I trust that someone is going to get those types of numbers and get their dev traits. So hopefully the gamble pays out there. If not, well, we'll wait and see. But I'm just excited to see if we can get some sort of uptick in our passing offense. First of all, enough to get Will Levis a dev trait. Second of all, to justify the draft selection of this absolute god. The midway point of year 2, a really competitive AFC South. 6-3, I was like, that's a good record. 3rd in the division, not as hot. But then again, there's only a game in hand between us and the Colts. We handle business this week. We're right in the spot there. Passing offense is better, but still, it is what it is, and that's only yards. If our passing offense has a bunch of touchdowns, touchdowns are as good as yards. Defense playing out of their goddamn minds. Let's take a look at some contracts here. I know Derrick Henry waiting to get a contract extension. Look, the green bar is there, able to get him. What you want? Biggest pain in the ass that I can remember negotiating with in a minute. Derrick freaking Henry. Monty Rice really hasn't developed as much. That's also like a reasonable contract, but I think we might be able to splash a little bit of money at a middle linebacker to pair with Alshire. Redunds is now a backup, so we can move on there. Stonehouse, great young punter. We reward. This guy's nothing but a gong machine, so we'll give him a 4-year, $16 million deal. Keep one of the best young punters in the game here. Kevin Byard, safety. Probably not going to be able to get a younger option on the open market, so we'll bring him back. DeAndre Hopkins, well, that's the reason why we're doing this rebuild. If they don't want him more than 3 years, he's probably going to retire. So we'll go 14 and 7.5 as a starting point. If all goes well, we'll find a way to get both him and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's hang-up was on the year, so we'll give him 4 years instead of 3. We got him locked in till he retires. Same needs to be said for DeAndre Hopkins. What if we just give you a lot more bonus? Another $1 million on the bonus? I don't think you would find better in free agency, honestly. I want to say this is my final offer, but I'd like to think this is my final offer. That is a lot of money. Why would you... Big-time victory over the Buffalo Bills, 24-14. We're going to come back here, start this with another contract. I'll give you 0.5 on either thing. Come on. Thank you. Because I was getting itchy there. Itchy trigger finger to throw out the franchise tag again. But we have a breakout for Will Levis, who's still on normal dev. This would be very nice for him to get a dev trait in season. We got the Minnesota Vikings, so hopefully it'll be a shootout. They got passing offense. We got passing offense. Come on. Let's see it. I'm always worried about the yards, though. Put up 35. We got a shot. We got a shot at this being good news and a star dev for Will Levis. Another big performance for Will Levis. Let's go. We might not get it at the end of the year. I think, again, the yards are always going to be a little bit of a hang-up for him to getting his dev trait. Hitting that in season, absolutely huge for our Titans, who are now 10-3, sitting atop the AFC South with a couple weeks to go. And we end year 2 with a very impressive 14-3 ahead of schedule. But you know what? What couldn't be foreseen is how well the defense is playing. Offensively, I knew we were going to be probably a top 5 rushing offense this whole rebuild. As soon as I got that wide receiver, I expected our pass offense to jump up, which it did almost freaking 7-8 spots from where we were last year. And that's just on the yards. Touchdowns might be better. But the defense has been absurd. Number 1 defense in the NFL. Shout out to Mike Ray. We have Derrick Henry, the leading rusher. What do we have? What kind of numbers do we have for Will Levis? Yards are always going to suck. Touchdown, it's not bad. Maybe not as good as I would expect. I'm actually a little worried to see what the stats look like. Unless, as long as Burks, Terry, and D-Hop, I'll take two guys over 1,000. That'll be all right. Running the ball, just ridiculous numbers by Derrick Henry. We got 1,400 yards, 10 tutties for Terry, 99 for D-Hop, 5 yards shy of 1,000. Burks with a solid season. I'm a little worried that we're probably going to lose the superstar dev on DeAndre Hopkins. But it's not the worst thing, because I'm pretty sure he started as a star dev. And then I simmed that 1 year to catch up, to get to the draft and all that stuff, and he went up to superstar. So he's back to where his starting spot would be, IRL, even though I think he probably should be a superstar anyways. Defensively, Shair leading tackler. We got 17 sacks to Danielle Hunter, 13 from Jeff Simmons, 11 from Harold Landry. Big time numbers. 4 picks Fulton, 4 from Farley, 3 from Hooker. So our secondary, even though we traded a superstar, keeps on keeping on. Yearly awards, Mahomes wins the MVP award, with Will Levis coming in at number 6. It's like, a little bit of like a disappointing out of Will Levis when I looked at the stat line. Almost top 5 in the MVP race. So maybe I'm sleeping on him a little bit. Derrick Henry, runner-up for Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Danielle Hunter coming in at number 5. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Emmanuel Terry. Defensive Rookie of the Year, we weren't going to have anybody there anyways. Will Levis, runner-up for quarterback. Derrick Henry, runner-up for running back. Terry, top 5 for wide receivers. Reduns, who we're letting walk, top 3 for linemen. Jesus, Simmons 4. I mean, we have a lot of good players, just no one that was ridiculously good this season, which, is what it is. Team effort. But I think 31 touchdowns gets Will Levis that high up on MVP. How many times have we had quarterbacks get 50 touchdowns and be outside of that? All right, well, last year we were unfortunately 1 and done in the playoffs. This year we are the big dogs. Even though we're ahead of schedule, definitely don't want to slip up here against a great Jags team. They are 2 overall points better than us. And did it ever feel like it? As we are, under Will Levis, 0-2 in the playoffs. Damn. And the most who gives a shit Madden 23 Super Bowl of all time. The Chiefs beat the Bucks in the Super Bowl. I think I echo the sentiment of everyone not watching this right now who gives a shit. Looking at the offense, well, It was coming. DeAndre Hopkins lost his superstar. Still really good. 90 overall. No worries about it. Will Levis star didn't get the double dev, even though a lot of respect amongst his peers. McKee was hidden dev. He is a star. On the defense, we have Caleb Farley going from star to superstar. So we get our superstar dev cornerback. And that's it. No one else up or down. So, very disappointing season. But, again, definitely ahead of schedule for our team. And if you told me through 2 years of this rebuild we didn't make the playoffs, I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of on schedule. Years 3, 4, and 5, where we want to start heating this up. So let's see if next year, year 3, will be Will Levis's opportunity to get a first playoff dub. Given it's my biggest need, and I don't think I've ever signed Aaron Donald, I'm going to try. I didn't go with a crazy bid. But if we can get him, so be it. We tick a lot of boxes. He wants to go to a contender, wants to go to a 3-4 team. We can offer that. Outside, I'm looking at Jamin Davis. We can land him. He will be our Monty Rice upgrade. It'll be him and Aziz Al-Shire in the middle of the defense. And with the roll, we get both. Welcome to Tennessee, Aaron Donald. Even if we only get him for 1 year and he retires. Welcome. So I did have all of my focus scouting this year on the defensive line. That was before, obviously, we could land Aaron Donald. There's a couple guys that looks like Javier Allen looks solid, even though slightly undersized for our scheme. Michael Barrington was likely going to be my pick here at D tackle. But now that we brought Aaron Donald in, I think our needs shift to, like, Andre Dillard's kind of at his ceiling. So the one tackle I did scout looks legit. And that is Chris Lake here, 3 A's and a B. And pretty solid across the board. Really just looking for a dev trade here. And, well, there's our mulligan. All right, second round, we'll take a look at a D-tackle here. Corey Samuel, great athlete. And again, if we only get 1 year of Aaron Donald, might have some upside there to be a successor in our scheme, and we get the dev trait. Take a look at our draft recap, and Chris Lake in the first round. Not a bad rating. Maybe a successor to Andre Dillard. Annoyed. Anytime someone of my personal, I hold myself to a standard that, like, I got to get hidden devs with the first rounders. Luckily, in the second round, got a really nice pick here in Courtney Samuel, 73 with the dev trait. And with that size, he's going to be a defensive end in our scheme. So we have a little bit of insurance if Aaron Donald does decide to retire. A nice 71 tight end in the fourth round. A couple almost 70 players. So not a brutal draft, not an S-tier draft, just a draft. At the midway point of year 3, we are tied with the Jacksonville Jaguars atop the AFC South. And this is a nice opportunity, potential opportunity, for Will Levis to make the jump up to a superstar quarterback. I almost feel like these are more attainable than the year-end dev trade increase just because it's so freaking hard for him to get the yards. So we run the ball. So one or few interceptions, 350 yards. Get him out that star dev up to a superstar. Winnable matchup against the Texans. They're not bad, but they're also not amazing. And this would be actually a bad one to lose, even just from the landscape of the division. We put up points, baby. 35-20. There's a chance. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, that's probably not good. Probably not the best starting. He tried. He tried. The team's winning. The team's winning. That's all you can ask for. Let's take a look at some contracts here. What do we have? We have Caleb Farley, superstar corner. Yep, that's an absolute bargain at that, which is good because we've had to overpay for the last couple of, big-time starters. 4-year deal for Amani Hooker. Really solid safety. Him and Kevin Byard have been great. Roger McCreary. Sure, continue with his development. 4-year deal, reasonable contract. Okonkwo at tight. Okay, so we have Andre Dillard. We could probably, honestly, at this point, bump the first-round tackle, just a left tackle, get through those growing pains. NBF has been solid at guard, and that's like a reasonable contract to keep him there. Like, his ceiling's probably going to be 81, 82, which is more than good enough to go on and win. I like Okonkwo. Don't know if I like him enough to overpay. We'll go player friendly. If he wants to walk, the tight end that we hit in the fourth round, the 71, he is a dev trait. So honestly, we could probably just save a couple bucks there. And I think we're gonna have 2 of our rookies now start at tight end and left tackle. I thought for a second we didn't make the playoffs, but we go 12-5. The rare 12-5. That is good enough to get the number 1 seed in the AFC. I'm still a little annoyed about the passing offense, but it is what it is, man. I feel like it'd be, even though this is a video that's being done because I got DeAndre Hopkins, we kind of need to stick with what's working because it's all about getting a Super Bowl now with this roster. Will Levis, solid season. Derrick Henry, did Derrick Henry things. Both DeAndre Hopkins and Treylon Burks go over 1,000. Our X Factor, Emmanuel Terry, is probably about to be our superstar, Emmanuel Terry, after this season. But that's fine. Again, it's fine. It's fine. We're winning games. Jotman Davis coming over free agency, leading team in tackles. 12 sacks, Jeff Simmons. 11.5 from Aaron Donald. Daniil Hunter with 5. 3 picks, Hooker. I mean, I don't want to say Aaron Donald. We had like the #1 defense in the NFL, but it's almost like the production kind of fell for everybody else, which it's never always the best thing. Dak wins the MVP. Quickly in the AFC, looking for some of our beloved Titans. And nothing. Even though we were the best team, none of our players, in the eyes of Madden, were good enough to win an award. But that's fine. We need to focus on what we can do in this building, and that is get our first playoff victory. Year 3. Don't want to be striking out here. We have the Jets. That is super winnable, and I don't want to say it, but like, do we need to change offenses to get some playoff success here? Because holy shit, it's not working. As we close out year 3, oh, he didn't lose his X Factor. Nice. That is a roll. That is a roll that I will take. We're going to go Stanton as our new tight ends. We let Okonkwo hit free agency. That is a dub, man. That is an absolute... I want to explore doing and changing the offense in the eyes of Madden, like realistically in Madden, how you would do it. We did lose the superstar in Caleb Farley, which kind of sucks. No other devs up or down. The way that I think the fairest way to change your playbook is to fire your OC and then get whoever is on the open market back in as your offensive coordinator. So I think that's what I'm going to do. See if we can get a better playbook. If not, we just, worst case, we stay with the Titans and rock and roll with it. So looking at the OCs that are available right now, we have Atlanta. Ooh, I won't do Tampa. And he's looking for a head coach. We need an offensive coordinator here. We have Seattle, San Francisco, the Rams. So I mean, at least our slot wide receiver could eat in that scheme. The Bills, Cardinals, Green Bay, New England, Washington, Minnesota, Las Vegas. Ooh. We got Las Vegas and we got Philly. Now, Will Levis not a scrambling quarterback. I think Vegas could be an interesting one because Vegas, Josh Jacobs can eat, and I think you get a little bit better passing yardage. So I think this is going to be our changeup. We're going to switch. We did it the right way. We are going to be going to the Vegas Raiders playbook for years 4 and 5. For free agency, there's not really anything. We have no real weaknesses to our squad. Tight end, and then there was no other upgrade over Okonkwo. You know, we do have Tremble and Likely that both have dev traits, but I'd rather just go with the guy that we drafted. And then it's on the offensive line. Could spend big here if we really wanted to, but I kind of want to let my first round pick eat. There is still realistic in the title of this video, and yes, I think I've done everything realistically. I threw an offer on Aaron Donald, which was like the 4th offer, and he still picked me. I didn't overpay, didn't like force that one through. We've kind of just taken everything in stride. It just wouldn't make sense to give up on a first round tackle, right now. All right, going into the draft. No super needs. You know, as long as is there a crazy tight end? I guess is there a tight end? It's like I have to get that guy. At the top available tight end, Larry Valentine. 6'2", 259. Weird build. Good, decent combat, but doesn't look like a guy that's going to make me, overdraft or anything crazy like that. We could always look for a lineman just because we're chasing that dev trait. Our new left tackle does not have a dev, and it's unlikely he ever will be, and there's just no real linemen that look to be great fits. We have Kenny Landry, that 3-4 front. Don't know if we really have to. There's no way to put it, fellas. Almost at this point, we just got to look for, like, the BPA. And, we have Heath Miller here, who we scouted. It's top 5. There was a corner that I scouted, too, that looked pretty good. Who's out of Montana? Is he gone? Crockett. A-double-B. I think there's a way that if I can get... I don't think we're excited enough. The fact that I get a top 5 true talent. 6'6", 309. He beefs up a little bit. But, looks easy. Who's not making that pick? Top 5 in pretty much everything. Outrageous bench press. No dev trait. Wow. Okay. And the second round, really the only other pick I like in this draft is the corner that we scouted. J.P. Crockett, A catching, B press, B zone. Weird that this guy has press and zone, but not man. Can jump out the gym. And we get at least a dev trade player. This is a top 5, 7-week draft class, I suppose. 77 normal is a top 5. Crockett does have the dev trade 69. We got a 75 running back here. Matt Snead out of Oklahoma. Just throw him in the machine, which is our backfield. I gotta look at this draft. Maybe it's just a shit draft. Ooh, probably is. 78 tight end. And Heath Miller's right there. Now, don't get mistaken with the tight end. Look at that. A 77 tight end in the 3rd round. Overall, though, doesn't look like a ridiculous class. And, you know, Gordon Madden, we get the second best player. We'll take it. But we will take the superstar on Crockett. Let's go. That's a dub. Year 4, and wow, the Jags are good. I thought 5-1 is acceptable, especially coming out of the bye. Jags undefeated. Did not see that coming. Trevor Lawrence firing on all cylinders there. Let's look at some contracts. These are guys we want for the 5th and final year of this reel. We have a lot of money. So I'll tell you right now, I like Spears. I like keeping him as our RB2. Tart, we have his replacement, the guy we got in the 1st round. Will Levis. Pretty cool that we're not going to have to pay him like $150 million. We'll get him locked up for the remainder of this rebuild. We have Aaron Donald. And hey, if he wants to stay here, finish a career as a Titan, by all means, I'm not going to disagree. Treylon Burks has been a great wide receiver 3. $27 million for an 85 star is more than reasonable. Harold Landry's an interesting one because I think he's going to regress to a point this contract might not look the best. And we might be able to like splash on it. I mean, both our edges are at that spot where I don't really want to overpay. I'll offer them both this contract. We did get Hunter. We'll see where Landry's at the end of the year. You know, if I'm saying if you get close to double-digit sacks, something like that, which is tough to do given our defense, maybe he'll be worth a contract extension. If not, thank you very much for your service here in Tennessee. And video 4, well, we're able to just inch out the Jags for the AFC South title. And the change in offense, we did it organically. We did it the way. We didn't cheese it. We decided to move on from our OC because we were struggling in the playoffs. Vegas' OC was there. Hired him in, and look at that. The offense, a little bit more in line with what I wanted to see. And I think it's in terms of like where we're at as a team, like still not ridiculous. Will Levis didn't, 40 touchdowns is great, but he's outside the top 10 in touchdowns. But I mean, in realism, I suppose, Derrick Henry's going to drop off at some point, right? And he still had a ridiculous season. 1,200 yards is solid. 22 touchdowns is S tier. That's, so he's still 8 in this scheme, in this system. But this is more the numbers we need. Burks, Hopkins, Stanton. Yes, that might not yield results this year, which I hope it does. But that is what we want to see. We got 7 sacks from Al-Shire at the linebacker spot. This is kind of weird. 14.5 Jeff Simmons, 11.5 Hunter, 10 from Aaron Donald, 7 Al-Shire. We had 5 picks. Caleb Farley, love seeing that. There could be a dev trait in store for him. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP goes to Anthony Richardson. Will Levis coming in at number 7. I think that's his 2nd best finish since we've been doing this. Individual awards, looking for some Titans. Come on. What do we got? Wow, nothing? Again, nothing? I know Tennessee's like kind of like an afterthought team, but like we're playing good football. Give me some respect right now. Year 4, we are 0-3 in playoff games. Can we make it 1-3? Nope. No, we can't. At least the Bucs didn't win the Super Bowl. Congrats to the Steelers. As far as our team is concerned, looking at the traits, no one up or down on offense. And on the defensive side, Caleb Farley up to a superstar. Everyone else, and Crockett, there they go. Love seeing that. Nice little superstar rookie. And we're going to be rolling into the final year. We got some money to spend in free agency to figure out what do I need to buy to get a freaking playoff win? Do I need to just retool the entire offensive line, make sure everyone's a 90? Do I, if I can get a Kyle Pitts, something like that at tight end, maybe? I don't know, man. Well, we got even more money. Let's go into year 5. Both DeAndre Hopkins, our wide receiver 2, the man that made us do this rebuild here today, and Kevin Byard, great Tennessee Titan, one of the best safeties I've ever had in franchise history, have retired, creating 2 gigantic holes on either side of the football. Pause. For a certain amount of money, we have maxed out our bids, and I'm not taking the cheesy way out because Willie Anderson is there, and that would be certainly cheesy. But I want to, you know, let's see if we make some moves here. We got Brian O'Neill, he'd be our left tackle. Frank Ragnow at center. Don't know, but we'll try. Kenny Clark at nose tackle. Don't know, we'll try. Lucas Van Ness and Honey Badger to come in and replace Kevin Byard. A chance. We get all of them because who wouldn't want to come to a team that's looking pretty good? We didn't get Frank Ragnow, which is fine. That was pretty much just surplus requirement at this point. So, see if we get enough here to go on and try to win at least one playoff game. Lots of D-Hop. Let's get another wide receiver in the room. No scouting on wide receivers, but I'll tell you what. It's try, test, and try. I don't know the deep route routing, but it's at least a C. 6 feet tall, 4.24, elite, acceleration, speed, elite agility on top of that. Yep, should be fairly solid. Maybe not usually these guys don't have the craziest rating, but I'm expecting 73 to 75 in that territory. He'd be a good role player. And for our final recap, 76, Christopher Rafano. Welcome to the Titans with that speed. So it's year 5, Super Bowl or bust here for the Tennessee Titans. Unfortunately, DeAndre Hopkins, the man that inspired us to do this rebuild here today, could not make it the full 5. But in his memory, we have Terry, who's going to be carrying on the legacy of DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins topping everything he could know. We got Burks. We went first-round wide receiver just to complete the room. Derrick Henry still doing his thing. Will Levis has been solid, especially in the new scheme. We got Skoronski up to a 93. We brought in Brian O'Neill in free agency just to really beef up this offensive line because I feel you think of Tennessee Titans, man, you still think being able to pound the rock, being able to dominate the line of scrimmage. So that's what we're going to try our best to do. Defensively, we still got Aaron Donald doing the thing. We brought in Kenny Clark just to shore up that front three. Our defense is already elite. I didn't really need to spend any money on the defensive side of the football, but between Kenny Clark, between Van Ness, between Honey Badger, hopefully these are 3 enough moves to take our S-tier defense and just get them to play well in the playoffs. Playoffs! Come on, let's get a win! This team hasn't got a win yet. Usually we're sitting here saying, well, we've been close a couple times, fellas. Maybe made a Super Bowl by now. Let's see if we can actually get that Super Bowl. No! We need one playoff win. I'll take that as a successful rebuild if we can get one playoff win. This Titans team is cursed. And then year 5, well, we got a chance. Didn't win the division. Everything's kind of fallen off, honestly. We've played like our... But, hey, Will Levis is throwing the football more. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what the missing piece is to this rebuild. We have one of the best wide receivers I've ever drafted. We have good quarterback. We now have great offense. We've had S-tier rushing offense. We've had near S-tier passing offense. We got a combination of the two. It's what we're getting this year. Bunch of touchdowns for Derrick Henry. Bunch of passing yards for our quarterback and our receivers to stay happy. Defensively, Aaron Donald. Ridiculous. 21. We got guys that can get after the quarterback. Interceptions might have dropped off, but at other points, we've always had kind of like dominant corner, dominant secondary. And it still has not got us anywhere further in the playoffs. So it's Aaron Donald, congrats, wins Defensive Player of the Year. Honestly, though, he's been just average before this year. Definitely not worth the price, worth the hype when we signed him. But this year, absolutely doing that on all levels. But we are now, I don't know. I wish I could be like, hey, fellas, and just force win all these ones. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, man. You can't force it if it's not going to work. It should. Might not. We have the Cleveland Browns. Are they going to make us go 0-5? We get a win. It's probably going to be short-lived, but let's celebrate this while we are here. 34-7 over the Browns. We got the Chiefs, which is, I think we all know how this one's going to be wrapping up. But Will Levis playing outstanding. 4 touchdowns, 290 yards, no picks. We ran the ball, had 100 yards. Derrick Henry got his. Tight end 8. Terry Burks, Rafano, all getting on the scoreboard. We got some pressure after the quarterback. 2 sacks Simmons, 1 for Donald, 1 for Van Ness, the Mercenaries, and an interception for Jamin Davis. And we are going to the divisional round where it's probably going to be over. But, you know, Mahomes probably get up there in age a little bit. Maybe we got a shot. I didn't see him near the top of the quarterback passing. So, maybe not the same. Is Kelsey still there? Do they still? I mean, you see the stats. 37 touchdowns, 13 picks. If we lose, you can always just hold your head up high if you lose to the Chiefs or the Bucs or anything like that. We win, and not only do we win, 41-35, a shootout with Will Levis, 4 touchdowns, Caleb Farley, pick 6. Sometimes that's what you need to get into the championship game where we are going up against that team that's better than us. The Jags, 91 Jags, 90 Titans. They're the #1 offense in the NFL, a top 10 rushing defense, which we like to run the football. Super Bowl on the line, divisional rivalry. Who's the best team in the AFC South? And an absolute shootout again, 49-42. The Titans on the back of 5 total touchdowns for Will Levis. And we get the pleasure of trying at the dying moments. We've been here the whole time. This is a standing run. We beat the Chiefs, and what stands between us and a successful rebuild is the other super cheesy team, who also now have a 99 Kenneth Walker in the backfield in the Bucs. Tail of the tape, Tampa. Well, you got Kenneth Walker's just a juggernaut. 88 overall, 90 overall. Top 10 offense, defense. We have the better defense. We are the better team. They have the much better play caller. We'll phrase it like that. They're 9-8, 11-6. Let's end this one out right. Actually, before, because I know if I lose, I'm just going to be like, F it, and we lost to the Bucs, whatever. Let's look at our stats here at this point. Will Levis in his career, 20,000 yards passing, 158 touchdowns to 41 picks. Derrick Henry on 16,000 rushing yards, 168 touchdowns for his career, which, he's probably going in the Hall of Fame with those numbers. 6,100 yards, 59 touchdowns for Treylon Burks, 5,600 yards, 29 touchdowns for the great Emmanuel Terry. Stanton was solid. Obviously, we don't get to see the numbers of DeAndre Hopkins. Defensively, missing the numbers of Kevin Byard, but we got, actually not a lot of homegrown guys at the top. 594 for Amani Hooker, who's been here the whole time. On the sacks front, we got a $172 from Aaron Donald, over 100 for Danielle Hunter. Jeff Simmons, 88 TFLs, 80.5 sacks. That's great for a 3-4 defensive end. And on the interception front, 33 picks. Honey Badger, 16 for Hooker, 15 from Caleb Farley, 12 from Christian Fulton. I mean, really, really nice corner room. We said at the very beginning, I think there's a lot of depth there, a lot of good players. Titans are underrated. As much as I kind of clown on them, like, really, if you're DeAndre Hopkins, you want to, like, the 2 teams were Tennessee and New England, in full respect. If I'm a wide receiver, I do not have any desire to go to those teams. But he made the decision, and I think overall the roster of Tennessee, if they can get Tannehill just even playing average, just play like an average quarterback, that's Tennessee's easily a playoff team this year. And hopefully, in this year 5, we could be a Super Bowl winner. Let's go get it. Let's go, man. They got Davis Mills at quarterback. That's all that needs to be said for us to win this Super Bowl. Yes, to the Bucs. They got Davis Mills at quarterback. Davis Mills is not going to cook us for a Super Bowl. And the Titans strike first twice, back-to-back. Tampa able to get a touchdown before the end of the first half. But I think if we get a touchdown here, it's going to be very tough for them to claw back, which they do. Let's go. 21-7, marching up and down the field. This Bucs defense providing barely any resistance. And barring a fourth quarter collapse, this should be, there's the touchdown, baby. Dominant. Tampa had a good quarterback. Probably a different story. The fact that they got Davis Mills at the depths in honor and memory of the great DeAndre Hopkins. The Tennessee Titans go from 4 straight years of being one and done to somehow going on a miraculous run, beating both the Kansas City Chiefs, a souped-up Jags team in the championship, and then the Bucs. This is like, we ran the gauntlet, man. The only other harder way is like if you go on the NFC side and you beat Dallas, you beat Tampa, and then you beat Kansas City, which I don't know how many times you've done that. That's pretty much the impossible rule. But I'm very happy with what we did here today. Shout out Will Levis, sticking with Will Levis. Maybe someone else would have moved on from Will Levis. But we got creative. We decided to move around on our offensive coordinator. We got a better balance where passing football became a little bit more of a priority while still getting Derrick Henry his. And Mike Vrabel, one of the best coaches in the NFL, gets himself a Super Bowl. So that'll do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. There will be a new rebuild at some point this week. I'm working on a new 0 rings to 7 rings rebuild of the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, I had to do this one kind of bump it ahead and impromptu because yesterday DeAndre Hopkins did sign with the Titans. But that is where we're at here today. I plan on uploading the Madden ratings week this week. So I think I'm going to do some of my sleeper lists. I'm trying to find some gems every single position, and I'm going to get back to uploading on the second channel, more C4. That is going to be more so me reacting to the Philadelphia Eagles ratings. Wide receiver rankings came out today, and AJ Brown has the same rating as Amari Cooper. So we're going to have a little bit of event. That's probably actually going to go live on the second channel tonight. So stay tuned for that one. And that will do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much. All the cheesy YouTuber stuff. Like, subscribe. Help out the YouTube robots. Helps out my channel. We just hit 162,000 subscribers 2 days ago. So that's awesome. Keep growing. We're going in the right direction. So I will see you guys back in the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Peace out. Love you. Have a good one.